Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TradeStation Masterclass. Thank you for being here, and sorry for the cancellations that we've had Monday and Tuesday. I was feeling, under the weather a little bit, so I couldn't do the classes, so I apologize for that. It happens, so I appreciate your patience on that. Today, we're going to talk about strategy elements and some of the things that are built into the TradeStation platform to help you not only backtest a strategy, but also automate it using a real world position, which is what we're going to focus on today. Before we jump into today's topic, I do want to do some introductions and some disclosures. My name is Jesus Nava. I'm the Director of Client Training and Education for TradeStation Securities. It's always great to be here and talk a little bit about TradeStation's technology. I also want to make sure that everyone is aware of the risks that are associated with trading online. It's not suitable for everyone. Remember that every example or idea that we talk about is all for demonstration and educational purposes only. Keep in mind that past historical performance is no guarantee of future results. And if anybody needs additional information on these disclosures, they are available by visiting www.tradestation.com/important-information. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to launch my TradeStation. Didn't have it open yet, so let me go ahead and do that right now. A couple of announcements while we're opening this up. Tomorrow's Thursday, where we usually have our class at 11:30. The class is now 12:30. I'm sorry about the shift in schedule. Sometimes it's confusing to keep track. I'm glad that everyone is looking at the coach messages just to make sure that you're aware of what happens inside of the masterclass. But tomorrow, and I think I sent an updated calendar of classes just a moment ago. You're going to see that for Thursday we have 12:30. We have David Russell. David Russell had asked me to move his class from Tuesday to Thursday only this week so that he had some conflicting schedules. So tomorrow we're going to have David Russell at 12:30. Make sure you mark your calendars for that and don't miss his session. All right, let me go ahead and open up a chart analysis window. And I don't believe I have any open positions yet. Oh, I do have open positions. Let me see what they are. I have some spider positions. I think I traded an iron condor or something to that effect. And that's what I see here, which doesn't really help me because I cannot automate a strategy on an options spread. Unfortunately, spreads, they have multiple symbols. And even though a strategy can run can calculate, using multiple data streams. I think we've talked about that before. When it comes to execution, the strategy can only trade one symbol, but that's really tough if you're trading a spread where you have to trade all symbols. Not only that, but if we even had the ability to trade multiple symbols, which we don't, but if we did, it wouldn't be traded as a spread. These will all be individual trades for single legs, which does not, translate into a spread trade. So yeah, this doesn't help me in this presentation. So I'm going to get rid of all these positions. I'm going to do my shortcut that I programmed. Well, that I didn't program it. It's already built into TradeStation. But Control F12, I'm not sure if you guys have tried this. Control F12, I call that my panic button because it allows me to close all my positions with a keyboard command. So Control F12. It says, would you like to run the close all positions macro? And when I say yes, order filled, you can see that it clears out my position graph bar of anything that I had in there. So my positions are gone. So let me go ahead and put in a new trade. Doesn't matter what that trade is. So let me go ahead and this stock right here, this is Imara Incorporated. I was probably looking at this symbol from percent gainers or percent losers. Yeah, I think it was a gap. We had a session on gaps, and this study, jumped significantly from, the $2.50 range all the way up to $3.60. Right now it's trading at close to $4. So it's okay. We can use this. It's not a stock that is trading actively, but let's just stick to this one so we don't have to change the symbol. Let's suppose that I'm going to put in a trade. I'm going to trade 1,000 shares of IMRA. So let's type in 1,000. I want to try to get them at, there's kind of a spread between the bid and the ask. You see how the bid is 388 and the ask is 391? So we're talking about, 3 cents of spread. It's not that big. For a moment, I thought it was like more than what it is. Only 3 cent spread. Okay, I'm going to try to buy these at the bid. 388, buy them. All right, my order should have gone through. So let me go ahead and put in account orders and positions. All right, that's where my order is right now. Bring the, okay, there we go. So that's my chart, my order right there, trying to buy at 388. The price of the stock is 388 as we speak. See how it dropped to 388 for a moment and my order didn't get filled? I mean, this is what happens. It's very, very natural to happen on lightly traded stocks, So, maybe I'm thinking about maybe just switching the symbol to something a little bit more active. Let me go ahead and cancel out of this. And I'm going to switch this to a different symbol. Let me go here. I thought I was going to stay with it, but sometimes, the fact that there's not enough volume stresses me out a little bit. So let's go over here to Spider, SPY. All right, so I'm going to put in a trade. This time I'm going to trade 100 shares of Spider, buy them at the bid, buy.
Order filled.
And there we go. More like it, now we have a position on Spider, 100 shares. We can see the yellow price here on the right-hand side shows me what I got filled at, $368.45. Now, here comes the cool part. I can use strategy automation to manage that trade. Let me go ahead and enable everyone's microphone here. I'm just giving you the ability to use microphones if you want to. Just in case you have any questions or if you want to interrupt me at any time, feel free to do so. This is an opportunity to talk about the capabilities of TradeStation in this area. So I was saying that I can use strategy automation to get out of this trade. Now, let's think about this in a little moment. So let me go ahead and add a study here and add, especially if it's an exit based on a technical idea. Let me go ahead and put in a moving average. Moving average. I'm in the show me's category. Let's go to moving averages. All right. Let's open this up. I'm going to create a 30-bar moving average. Okay, so currently, this is a 30-bar moving average. I'm looking at a 5-minute chart. So 30 bars at a 5-minute increment is a total of 150 minutes, which is about, 2.5 hours. So for the past 2.5 hours, the average price of Spider is $369. My position is 368. So let's go ahead and do something. I have a long trade, but it makes no sense to use that. No, let's not use this idea. Let me go back into my list of studies. I'm going to use a price channel. Okay, and it's already breaking my price channel on the downside. So let's suppose that I want to use the price channel as an exit. So right now I got in at 368.45 because we put in that trade manually. But let's suppose that we want to use the price channel up here as a way of getting out on the upper side. So there's a chance for us of making money if it reaches that and use that in some sort of a target. But I don't want to sit here and continue to watch spider and see how it relates to this price channel. We can see that right now it's breaking the bottom band, which is a bad thing for our position because we're losing money. But in the event that it goes up or down, we may want to get out. Of course, this is not a good example because it's breaking as we speak. So let's wait until, let me pull this into a 1 minute chart and see what happens. In a 1 minute, see we're inside. That's just because the current data is breaking the channel. Okay, right now it's kind of moving inside the channel again. I'm gonna leave it here in the 1 minute, the 1 minute chart so that we can see some action happening. So the idea here is, I'm just setting up the idea and I'm taking longer than I expected. Okay, so we got in 100 shares to spider. We're going to use a price channel as a way of exiting. If it goes to the top side, we're good. If it goes to the bottom side, it's going to get us out as well. We can do that with the help of a strategy. Let's go here to studies and go to add strategy. Let me see. There are most of the popular indicators in TradeStation are created as strategies, and price channel is not the exception. Here they are: price channel SE and LE, long entry and short entry. I'm going to add them both. I'm going to be using this strategy a little bit different. I'm not sure if you guys have been with me for some time, but these two strategies that I just added are designed to enter the market. That's why the designation LE and SE with the name, these are entries, but I can use them as exits. My entry is already in there. I did it manually. What I want to do is I want to use the price channel condition as an exit so that instead of entering on the breakout, it just takes my position out. Does that make sense? So if you take a look at the actions, you can see that it's turned on for buying and it's turned on for selling short. I want to use the exact same condition, but I want the signal to generate an exit only. You see, I can switch it to exit only. So it's still on, but it'll use whatever criteria it was using to enter the market to exit. Let me see if this works. I haven't tested this, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna click on close. And of course, you can see that historically, nothing happens because we changed the strategy just to exit only. Okay, so that's the first step. We set the strategy to exit only. I don't like the fact that we're so close to the bottom because I bet you that the moment that I turn it on, it'll execute and I won't have a chance to explain what happened. But I'm going to go over here to my strategies. I'm going to go to edit strategies and I'm going to generate, first of all, strategy orders for display in the Trade Manager's strategy orders tab. You see, we're breaking the bottom band again. Okay, it's all right. I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to click OK. And let me open up a Trade Manager window so that we can take a look at what's going on. Trade Manager. Now, the Trade Manager window is not going to show me anything. The reason for that is because the strategy orders, see that's empty, and strategy positions, it says that it's flat. It's understandable because we turned on the strategy to send information over to the Trade Manager, but there's nothing on the strategy. There's no signals. So let's see what we, and the strategy orders, there's nothing to generate because we turned the strategy into more of an exit type of strategy by going in there and setting the entries to exit only. So what I need to do is I need to link the strategy to my real position. The first thing we did when we started the conversation was, let's put in a trade of 100 shares of Spider, and we did. And we see that position right here. If the strategy was able to see that I'm in a position, then it could possibly, exit my position using the price channel criteria. Otherwise, it has nothing to exit. And that's why we have no strategy orders. That's why we have nothing happening on the chart. We need that link between the strategy and my real position. Where do we do that? Which is the main topic of this presentation. How do we link my strategy to a real position that I may have entered. All right, so let's go ahead and go to studies, edit strategies, and everything here is automated except for the execution, which I'm going to agree to with confirmations off. I don't want confirmations. What I do want to do here, though, I want to go here into properties for all, because this is the trick. This is what it's going to do the trick. I'm going to go to properties for all, go into automation. I know it's a sequence of steps that you have to remember. The good thing is that the session's recorded. You can always come back. The default is this first radio button. I'm going to select the second one because that's where the adopt option is. See, this one says adopt the real world position for the current account. And that is exactly what we need. We need the strategy to adopt whatever position we have in a real account as if it was its own. Okay, let's go ahead and check that. And I'm just going to click OK. It says a change has been made to the underlying symbol. Would you like to disable strategy automation? No. You see, I'm looking at the bar and how close it is to the bottom band. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to say no here and say OK. All right, so I'm going to get filled.
Order
Oh, I knew it. I knew that as soon as I turned it on, it doesn't provide me a way of setting up the trade. But this is what happened. Okay. This little blue signal that you see back here, that's when I put in my manual trade. The second one says assume LE. So that's the strategy saying, well, you traded here. I'm going to assume that to be my trade. So now there is a position in the strategy that I can exit. And what happened is that the strategy, saw that I was getting close to the bottom band, and it generated a selling transaction at 366.94. Is that 366.94, which is exactly the price that I got filled at. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that one more time, because it's pretty cool how we can get our strategy to react. Get our positions to react to a strategy, especially if you want to get out with a technical idea. This is like discretionary trading meets technical ideas. You're putting in a trade, and then you're letting your technical indicators manage that trade. Let me go ahead and put in that trade one more time. Trade, 100 shares, bid, buy.
order filled.
So I get filled again, 100 shares, a spider. Now, what I need to do is, I think I need to, let me see if I can get around setting this all up again by just doing Control R. Control R, by the way, it's a keyboard hotkey that allows you to reload the chart and recalculate. A lot of times we need that for the strategy to do the calculations from scratch again and see if we can make it, move this assume, because what I'm trying to do is move this assume to my current trade. So let me do Control R. And if you guys notice, let me squeeze this a little bit. It actually moved. So the Control R sometimes is pretty cool, because you make the strategy recalculate. You're still keeping the same settings. It just recalculates and sees that, oh, there's another new trade. And let me go ahead and attach to that one. So now I am here in this trade of 100 shares of Spider. The Spiders is trading inside the channel. And if I look at my strategy orders, there's a strategy here ordered to, this is an order to sell. You can see the type is a sell, and the price is 366.86. That price, as you can tell, is one tick below that red band, and it's already there. It's already been monitored, and an order is active, just waiting to get. Now, it's a couple of things that I'm going to explain here, and hopefully you guys can follow me. There's an active order on the strategy side. There's no active order in the account. Although I'm connected to a simulator, you can see that there's no line here on the chart, because the strategy is running everything, behind the scenes. And as soon as the price reaches 366.86, it's going to send what type of order? This is a stop order. Bet you say stop order. Well, it says right here, stop. The price is right under stop, which means that by default, stops are not sent to the exchange for execution. We can change that if we want, and have a visual of that stop if we wanted to. But for the most part, stops are held on the TradeStation execution server. Something to be aware of, because you may think that, well, I already have a stop in place. I can, walk away from my computer and I can go and go grocery shopping or go play golf, and leave the computer unattended. Whenever you're running a strategy, especially when it's automated on the execution side, you want to be paying attention to it and see what's going on. I have this order active on the strategy side, but it's not sent to the exchange yet. If I go to my orders tab, you're going to see that there's no new order generated. I would have seen a row here at the very top with the gray background, which is the color that active orders have. No, but this is only on the strategy side. There is a way for me to send that stop over to the exchange. For example, I can go here to studies, edit strategies. I can go back into properties for all. And in the automation section, there's a checkbox under stop orders that says send strategy generated stop orders directly to the TradeStation order execution network. That way we're sending the stop one step ahead. Let's go ahead and click OK to that. I don't want to disable strategy automation, and I'm going to click OK. But with that, take a look at my chart. Now I see the red line that represents my order at 366.86 because the strategy now sees that I checked it off and said, send it over. If it's waiting to get filled, just send it over. And that way it's just sitting there. Now, if I go back to orders, I can see the gray row right there at the top. It's a selling transaction with a stop price of 366.86. Pretty cool, huh? Now we can sit here and wait until something happens on that chart and see what happens. Hopefully, the channel, which is being drawn here on this chart, will become narrower and narrower, as the price moves sideways and there's not a significant, movement in price. The distance between the upper and the lower band, it's going to get closer and closer until it breaks out. So we can see that earlier it broke down the bottom channel, and it kind of just now remains there for a few minutes. As new bars are created, this blue line will start to drop and drop because it only keeps track of the highest high for the past 20 bars, and the past 20 bars was right here. Okay. Takes a look at the last 20 bars and it draws the line going forward. So I'm going to expect this blue line to start dropping soon. Of course, we have a 1 minute chart. I should have picked something that's a little bit faster. Sometimes it's a balance between speed and wanting, my strategy to react to something that I'm waiting for. But this is a cool way for you to have a position and have it, being managed by a strategy in real time. What I was looking for this strategy to do is to, it's going to hit our stop, is to, get closer to the upper band so that you can see how the strategy in real time reacts to that and says, well, it seems like I'm moving away from the stop and I may have to generate another exit transaction that generates up here in the upper band. See, that's something that the strategy does in the background. The strategy, the way that is written right now, is not capable of sending the two orders at the same time. And even though we do have the strategy on both sides, and we have it turned on for automation, you can see that the strategy makes a decision as to which one to send first. And since the market activity is closer to the bottom band, it chooses to send that first. But if the market does start going up and closer to the upper band, you will see how the strategy decides then, oh, I better cancel the selling transaction at the bottom band and generate a new one in the upper band. That's pretty cool functionality. So let me go ahead and let me make this a 30-second chart. 30-second chart, just a little bit faster. Let's do not cancel the order. Now I went into waiting for data mode. Nothing's going on. Hey, Jim, how you doing? No problem. I didn't share a link for today's presentation. I kind of just started and jumped right on the platform. So let me go ahead and now that you said it, I believe there was some information that I wanted to go over with everyone that I didn't. Let me go ahead and start setting that up until I get more data on this chart. Let me go here to, all right, so let's see what's going on here. So it sent the exit. So it's still automated. We're just trying to understand what's going on here. Still a 30-second chart. You can see how, on a 30-second, since we have more granularity, you can see how the blue line has already dropped significantly. So very soon, we should have some movement here. Let's see if we can get that order canceled and the new one generated. In the meantime, let's go over here to my PowerPoint. Strategy automation gives you the ability to have a chart send trading orders into the market to enter or exit a position. Let me let me save this into a PDF that I can share with everyone. All right, so let me pull it up here. All right, that's the PDF right there. Thank you for reminding me, Jim. Let's see where my order is. Take a look. It's still on the bottom side. I'm getting closer and closer to the top. I would have expected the strategy to already have switched my order from well, still a selling transaction, but not here. It's getting very close to hit that. Let's recalculate. Control R. I didn't do that last time. So let's do Control R. This is going to reload. A lot of times, when you make changes to a chart, especially a chart that is automated, it's good to reload it so that the strategy has the time to recalculate and make it work that way. Especially, and sometimes I even go to the extreme and I start from scratch, because after a few, offs and on that I do on the chart settings, it just gets confused and I get confused. So a lot of times I just start from scratch and start from the beginning. So let's wait until this loads. There we go. We're still on that bottom side though. It's active. Sell at 366.86. Yeah.
Order filled.
Uh-oh. That was a big drop, sudden drop, and we got filled. It took us out. but not on a new order. Same order. Pretty cool. As soon as it dropped and it penetrated that bottom channel, it just took us out. Let's put in another trade. Trade. Buy.
Order filled.
So I get filled. Let's reset the scaling. We are still, yeah, it's just breaking that band at the bottom. And the problem with using a 30-second chart is that it's using tick data. So every time I do a control R, it just takes forever to reload. Let's go through some of the content of this PowerPoint so that we can clear out some pointers. So let's go ahead and do. So we already said that we can use a strategy to manage a real position, a position match between the real world and the strategy must be true so that it matches. That's why we picked, adopt my real world position so that it matches. You can use the trade manager strategy orders and strategy positions to track the status of the strategy automation. That's what we were doing just a moment ago. This is where you find adopt by going to strategy properties for all when you edit the strategy. Any changes, we talked about this as well, any changes you make to the strategy, attempts to turn off strategy automation just as a security measure, you can choose not to. This talks about refresh or reload a chart to force strategy recalculation, which we talked about a moment ago. And of course, we always want to test this on the trading simulator before we go live to make sure it's doing what we want it to do. So let's see what happened here. Okay, so it got us out again. We had entered the market. We were in a trade, and since it penetrated the bottom band again, then it actually exited our position. Question from Steve: can you make it so when the bottom band moves up in price, will your sell price change like a trailing stop? It does that. It does that automatically, I think. It should have done that automatically. Let's go ahead and set it up again. Let me go ahead and go back to a 1-minute chart. Okay, so this is the 1-minute chart. We're still under the band. The thing about the strategy, remember that the strategy is dynamic and is always calculating those exit levels for you as it receives data. On the close of every bar, it recalculates, and if it needs to change your price, it does that automatically for you. So let's go ahead and wait until Spider is back inside the channel. So that won't be a long time.
Well, was your order filled at 366.76? Because that red line moved up to like 367 something. At least that's what I thought I seen. That's why I was asking.
This exit back here got me out at 366.89. That's what it sold me at. Now this one right here was a big spike down, so I'm not sure what step of the process we were in. So it's really tough to know. But let's go ahead and, now that we're inside the channel, let's try it one more time. Let me go here to trade.
Order filled.
So we buy the 100 shares. Let me go into studies, edit strategies, make sure that everything is set the way that I want in automation. I have adopt, I have this turned on. So I'm gonna control R. So the strategy recalculates. You see how now we have our order in place right on the band at 365.54. So if the band changes from one bar to the next, I would expect my order to do that also. So right, my stop is at 365.54. And I also expect, as the price approaches my top line, which is something that we did not see, but as it approaches my top line, should also generate a new stop. actually not a stop, it would be, oh, I see what the problem is here. The problem with this order is that I'm expecting the strategy to do something that is not designed to do. This order or the strategy code for an order that would be generated up here is a stop order, not a limit order. And if we're using it as a target, it's not designed to do that. It's designed to enter with a stop order. So this is an order that would not be generated because you would not generate a stop order above the market if you're in a long trade. It would only do the bottom one because it's using it as a protective stop. I'm not sure if you guys follow me on that, but yeah, the strategy type, I mean the order type that the strategy is generating is a stop order. And you can see that, you know, if I go here into edit strategies and I go to my long entry and I go to edit easy language from here, you can see that it's a buy order, but it's a type of order stop. So it cannot be used as a target as I was intended this to behave. So we're not going to see that switch unless we, you know, change this, which I'm not going to do at this moment, but I could. But I wanted to show you guys is that you can use strategies to dynamically manage a real time or a real position in your account. So far, we haven't had a change on our bottom channel, and we won't until we get a, well, if it breaks the channel, we're going to get out. But this channel will only get updated if we start going up and past the lowest low for the past 20 bars, which is right there. Let's see if we can make that a little bit shorter. So if we make this 5 bars instead. Yeah, 5 bars. And then I change the strategy to only look back 5 bars instead of 20. That'll make the shifting of the bars a little bit faster. Okay, so we're still right here, but we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the lowest low. On the next calculation, we should see a shift on that stop. Hopefully, that's what I'm expecting. Okay, we have 20 more seconds on this bar before it closes. See, the red band here is just keeping track of that low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no, the low here is 365.55. Now, I won't change that much because it's keeping, you see, it only shifted a little bit. Our stop did not change.
It changed 2 cents.
Did
It
it
was
change?
yeah, it was 365.54. I wrote it down.
Really? Okay, then I
Yeah.
missed it then. Okay, so on the next bar, it should 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should adjust to this low right here. So yeah, it's great functionality that you can leverage inside of TradeStation. Just a couple things, you know, that I reminded everyone of at the beginning. When you automate strategies, please just monitor them. You know, keep an eye on what's happening. Don't leave your computer unattended. Have some, you know, alerts turned on, especially if you get disconnected from the internet. There's an alert built into TradeStation that lets you know if you were disconnected. Here we have, you see the band updated, but the stop didn't. But take a look. It changed the price here. So the strategy is changed, but the stop that we sent over to the exchange did not adjust accordingly. Go here to orders. This is stuck at 365.54. My strategy order, it says 365.81. So rather, what's happening here, my stop is being sent because I asked the strategy to do that. And I was expecting the strategy to withdraw that stop and resend a new one, and it didn't. I'm not sure. I mean, I would consider that to be a bug because that's my expectations for the strategy to know that there's an active order out there, cancel it and send in a new one at the new calculated price, but it's not doing it. Here in Properties for All, automation, this is what's doing that, the sending the stop to the execution network. If you're actively monitoring your position and your strategy, maybe there's no sense of sending that stop over to the execution, but it seems like it's a bug. I'm not sure what you guys think, but it seems like it's not, it shouldn't be that way.
Let's ask John Brook about this. That's a good find.
About that specifically? Yeah, because I mean, Jim, wouldn't you agree that the stop should update?
Yeah. It's good to know if it don't, because then we shouldn't be checking that box.
Yes, we should. I would probably do some additional, testing. Let's do something here. If I put in a trailing stop, let's go here to studies, add strategy. Let me do a dollar trail. Let's do a dollar trail of $1. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and I'm going to remove these two. Okay, and what I want is, I'm going to go to studies, edit strategies. I'm going to go back in there and make sure that the stop is sent. Okay, so that's my stop at 365.25. Okay, so as the market goes up, see okay, there we go, it's moving. So it is working. So Jim, now my stop is being adjusted. I'm not sure if the way that I was using it, or the combination that I was using, with the price channel, maybe the way that the strategy is coded, it's not moving with the calculation, but this seems to be working. I saw the stop loss being, canceled and readjusted. See, it's going, let's see if it goes up more. So it has to go to 366.47 in order for this to adjust. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some additional testing, but the behavior should be that, whenever you have a recalculation of the strategy, the order should be recalculated. If the strategy sees that, hey, I already sent this order to the stop server, let me go ahead and either, cancel it and adjust it. It has to be adjusted based on the new calculation. Yeah, I see your comment, Ryan. The order right here, when you go to strategy orders, the order status of this one's received because it was actually sent. But if it says unsent, it's because it was never sent to the market, which explains what we were seeing. The stop was remaining somewhere. The new order, or the new updated order, was not being sent for some reason. Maybe it was just the way that my chart was set up. Remember when I was explaining to you guys that sometimes if you continue to use the same chart and continue to make edits and turning things off and removing, which is exactly what I'm doing here, it just messes things up. So I would have probably started from scratch, set up everything again and make sure that it happened the way that I was expecting rather than, making all these changes one after the other. And Rich, the bottom line works and the top one doesn't. In the case of the price channel, yes. And the way that I was using it, because I was using the price channel strategy as a way of exiting a manually placed trade without realizing that on the top side, that would have been a stop order, which does not get generated above the market if you're in a long trade, for sure. Yes, that's what was happening. But guys, use the functionality, practice, test it. And if you have any questions, remember that we have Ask the Experts on Friday at 11:30. We'll join again, and we can talk about this a little bit further if you guys want. Remember that tomorrow we have David Russell at 12:30. So there's no easy language class tomorrow. We usually meet at 11:30 tomorrow, but tomorrow is going to be 12:30 with David Russell. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining me today. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful Thursday. See you next class. Bye-bye.